Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from the bunker in Kentucky. Well, you could have set your watches and you could have set your clocks by how long it took Democrats and leftists to come out and attack Trump and defend a communist dictator who is also a narco-terrorist drug runner. I mean, I've been saying for quite a while that the Democrat Party is no longer American. They are the enemies of liberty. They are they are the epitome of tyranny. And anytime they can come out in favor of a criminal or a terrorist or a communist and come out against America and American values, they will do it. They are always on the wrong side of every single damned issue. And here we go again. You know, George W. Bush, he's, oh, the irony here is so palpable. With Democrat Party support in Congress, George W. Bush spent billions and billions of dollars, lost over 4,000 American lives, spilled all manner of American blood and treasure in Iraq, all to get Saddam Hussein. Trump, in one single night while we were sleeping, he toppled Maduro, the Venezuelan dictator, communist dictator, who is also a narco-terrorist drug runner. He went into Venezuela, got Maduro, brought him back to America, and did it all in one evening while Americans slept and did not lose one single American life. And what do the Democrats do? They attack him. Well, of course, they just elected a communist dictator to be mayor of New York. So they're on the side of the communists. They're on the side of the drug runners, right? They for 4 years under Biden, they allowed drug runners and terrorists and human traffickers to cross the border freely. So, Democrats are always on the wrong side of every issue. But today it is so palpable, and it was almost amusing if it weren't so disgusting and pathetic and stomach turning. It would almost be amusing how I predicted it. The night I was up in the wee hours of the morning, as I often am, and I saw the tweets. It started coming across Twitter, at least from my perspective. X, not Twitter. It started coming across X before it was coming across any platform. I didn't see it on YouTube. I didn't see it on Facebook, but I sure as heck saw it on X, all the tweets and videos about our military going into Venezuela. Yeah, that's probably because people are tweeting so easily around the globe, and it's that's the fastest response. I saw I saw the tweets on X, or I guess I don't know if you call them tweets anymore, coming in, and I thought to myself is, God bless President Trump. This man toppled a communist dictator and arrested a narco terrorist, and he did it all without one loss of an American soldier. And then my second thought was, how fast are Democrats going to come out and attack Trump and defend the communist bastard? And sure enough, they're already protesting in front of the White House, and they're already protesting in. And here's the thing. Here's the first irony, hypocrisy, stupidity, whatever you want to call it. There are Venezuelans in America and in Venezuela who are celebrating in the streets. They're out, they're dancing, they're singing, they're happy, they're waving the flag. They are free of Maduro. And they are thanking President Trump, but not the Democrats. They're home protesting in defense of the communist dictator. But like I said, that should be no surprise since they've been electing communists like Mamdani to be mayor of New York and some other commie POS they just elected to be governor somewhere. I forget what the state is. So that's one. You know what? Whose opinion I care about? The Venezuelans in this particular case. They are the ones who have been liberated, and they're the ones who are happy and dancing in the street. It's only the left-wing freaks in the Democrat Party who are angry. So that's number one. Number two, as Secretary of State Marco Rubio pointed out correctly, he said, quote, Maduro is not, this is an interesting way to look at it. He said, Maduro is not the president of Venezuela, and his regime is not the legitimate government. Maduro is the head of the Cartel de Los Soles, a narco-terror organization which has taken possession of the country. He is under indictment for pushing drugs into the United States. So, technically, he kind of bullied his way into the office. He's not even the legitimate president. So that's something else to consider. Now, here's number three, and this is just really stupid. I'm a member of several discussions forums, and in one forum I'm in, there's some people who are really pushing a stupid line, and this stupid line always comes up, and it always turns out to be crap. And the stupid line is this: well, we're afraid of what China and Russia might do. Look, old man Bush went into Panama and grabbed Noriega. Russians and China didn't do anything. During the existence of the Soviet Union, Ronald Reagan went into Grenada and booted the Cubans out. And the Soviet Union did nothing. Even Obama went into Pakistan and grabbed bin Laden. The Chinese and Russians did nothing. And those are just some small ops. What about bigger operations? Like the two Gulf Wars. During the first Gulf War, under old man Bush, the Saddam Hussein and Iraq were actually technically still satellites of the Soviet Union. We went in, Russians did nothing. And then the second time under W. Bush, of course, we went into Iraq, and the Russians and the Chinese do nothing. Every time we do something, the Russians and the Chinese do nothing. So here come the old ladies, all nervous and stuff. What's Russia and China going to do? They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. Come on, man. Don't be a moron. They're not going to do anything. Venezuela is not worth them risking their blood and treasure. They're not going to do anything, especially when it's over here on our side of the world. Look, do I even need to bring up the classic, everybody's favorite Cuban Missile Crisis? Hell, we blockaded actual Russian ships, and the Russians did nothing. So please, spare me the ignorance and the stupidity of crying about, oh, what are the Russians and the Chinese going to do? But, crack open a history book and pull your head out of your ass. They're not going to do anything. So that's number two. So number one, we've got Venezuelans happy and dancing in the streets, and only the Democrats are mad because Democrats love their communists. Number two, as Rubio pointed out, Maduro is not the actual president of Venezuela. He is the head of the Cartel de Los Soles, a narco-terror organization. Number three, China and Russia, non-starter. They never have done anything and they never will do anything. Just to recap on my previous comparison, isn't it, again, the irony is just killing me that the Democrats voted for the invasion of Iraq. They were happy to lose thousands of lives and spend all that money because of Saddam Hussein. But they're angry when Trump went in and did it on the cheap without one loss of life. You know, you can't make this stuff up. Listen, I have more videos than I can count about how Democrats are the enemies of liberty. They are deranged. They are unhinged. They are always on the side of the enemies of liberty, but they are never on the side of America and liberty. You know, they're on the side of illegal aliens. They want to get rid of police. They always want to reward the criminals. Hell, most of them are criminals. Tampon Tim is knee-deep in fraud. The Democrats are knee-deep in fraud and corruption in Minnesota. Elon Musk exposed all their fraud and corruption in Washington, D.C. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're on the side of the terrorist group Antifa. Antifa is basically, for the Democrats, what the KKK used to be for the Democrats and what the brown shirts were for the Nazis. It's their thugs out in the streets. I'm surprised they're not out in the streets already over Venezuela. But here's the bottom line. Donald J. Trump is the greatest president. Other than, George Washington and Lincoln, Donald J. And I love Ronald Reagan. Don't get me wrong. I would say those are the top four presidents. Lincoln, Washington, Ronald Reagan, and Trump. But as far as modern times go these days for these generations, Donald Trump is the greatest American history president. I mean, he has done so much, and I have a slew of videos about that too. You're welcome to look at. But he has done so much for this country, fundamentally changing broken systems and broken agreements, all at great cost to himself. 3 assassination attempts, courts being rigged as warfare, attack units to attack him and his family, trying to bankrupt him, trying to send him to jail, all kinds of stuff. And 3 assassination attempts, and he keeps on going, man. He keeps on going and he keeps on winning. I have never seen the likes of it, nor did I ever dream that the likes of it were possible. And the only thing more amazing than the success and the greatness of Donald J. Trump is the evil and the hate of those who suffer from TDS and are arrayed against him, some of them from his own party. Sadly, it is amazing what Trump has been able to accomplish while the entire media, or almost the entire media, was against him. Courts have been rigged against him. Elections have been rigged against him. The Democrat Communist Party is maniacal and deranged against him. And not a few rhino weak-kneed pussies in the Republican Party have certainly not helped him. And yet, there is only one reason for that, and that is because of technology. Trump has been able to break through and reach the American people directly, and the American people love Donald Trump, and they voted for him, and they're happy, and Trump is delivering on all his promises. So I will conclude this video by saying, to the Venezuelan people, Venezuelan Americans, and people in Venezuela, if any of you happen to see this video, I know not a lot of people watch my videos, so please, if you can, like and share my video. I really would appreciate it. And maybe this message, if you do, maybe this message will get out to a few Venezuelans. And I just want to say, I am happy for you. I'm happy for you that your country has now rid of a narco-terrorist drug lord who was posing as your president. Um, we're happy for you, and we hope you prosper. And to my fellow Americans, I just want to remind you of our ongoing theme for 2026. It was ongoing in 2025, and now we're really stepping it up. Ongoing theme for 2026, which is stay the course. Stand by Trump. Trust Trump. Stay the course. Don't be like those weak, wobbly kneed rhino Republicans who get all nervous and start jumping ship. Like I've said many times, Trump's victory in 2024 was very much like D-Day in World War II. It was a huge victory, all right? But then came the hard work. I mean, they landed on the beach, they established the beachhead, and they started fighting the Germans. But then, if you know anything about your World War II history, first we got bogged down in the hedgerows and we almost came to a complete stop, and the Germans were just mutilating us. And then Hitler responded with the Battle of the Bulge, and we came close to losing the war. Things were pretty tough. Things were really tough. Some Americans were dying in the winter of freezing in the Battle of the Bulge. Now, it would have been easy for some of them to say, hey, I didn't sign up for this. I'm jumping ship. The same way some Republicans are doing with Trump. But no, we landed in D-Day, and the war was on until there was victory. And so, likewise, we elected Trump in 2024, and the cold civil war against the Democrat extremists, the Democrat socialists, the Democrat communists who are destroying this nation, who are the friends of our enemies. The war is on, and victory is the only acceptable outcome. So stay the course, stand by Trump, trust Trump, support Trump, and make sure that you get out the vote in 2026 for Republicans the same way you got out the vote for Trump himself in 2024. You got to pretend like Trump is on the ballot in 2026, and you get out and do the same for Republicans this year in the midterm elections as we did in 2024, or else all of this wonderful work and all of these wonderful things we are seeing will be no more. All of Trump's wonderful work will disappear. All of these wonderful things we're seeing will no longer be able to happen. And you can bet that if for some reason these disgusting, degenerate Democrats manage to get the Congress back, you know what's going to happen. Impeachments, overturning all the tax breaks, blah, 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 COVID. It'll be the dark days all over again. We cannot let that happen. So stay the course, stand with Trump. And God bless Trump for liberating Venezuela and not losing one American life. I still can't get over that. He went into Venezuela got rid of a communist dictator, literally threw him on a plane and brought him back here for trial, um, and didn't lose one life. And according to President Trump, didn't even lose one piece of American equipment. Like there was no helicopter went down or anything like that. Didn't lose a piece of equipment and didn't lose a single life. And he brought a narco-terrorist to justice, and the Democrats hate it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, please subscribe to our Substack page. Please like and share this video. Please check out the related links that I have put in the description of this video. And I will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.